Okay, well, I just completed my final year, first year's exams, and wonder above wonder, I got a B plus for Latin. Okay, so after the exams, we needed some serious R&R. So Mouse and I decided we're going to go to Mozambique for 12 to 14 days. But in order to do that, of course, we needed to get some pocket money. So somehow or another, we found a job at some medical insurance company in Pretoria. But they hardly paid us, man. They paid us like R5 a day, not per hour, per day. That R5 was the equivalent of $5 per day. It wasn't a monotonous work, but we needed money to go on vacation, so that was it. We had no other option but to take it and do it. 6 weeks later, Mouse and I took off from Mozambique, and we ended up in the municipal camping grounds of Lorenzo Marques, now Maputo, where we were camped because it was the cheapest. Yeah. Oh my goodness. We drove there with my car that I just bought a couple of months ago. With my danger pay I earned in Rhodesia, I bought that Datsun Triple S for 1,200 Rand out of the box. Out of the box. I was so proud of that thing. It was so light on gas. My God, I could fill it up for 3.50 Rand, and I would get 400 kilometers out of a tank of gas. Anyhow, Mouse and I caught crayfish or lobster, as Americans know it, and we dined like kings. I mean, every night or even lunchtimes, we would make a fire and have a barbie and grill lobster over the fire. Now, who can do that? And as it so turned out, we met a guy there with the name of Leo. He had a business in South Africa called Leo's Transport, but Leo left South Africa because he has a relationship with a stunningly beautiful Indian girl. And of course, because of the South Africa's apartheid policies, he was a criminal in the country, was seen as a criminal because he broke the law as relations between people of different races were illegal. And just so it turned out that one day, Leo and his girlfriend Shireen invited us for dinner. And she made a lovely, lovely pot of crab stew. To this day, that was the best crab I have had in my life. Absolutely. I can recall when I've had the best chicken in my life. And strange enough, that will later turned out to be Mozambique as well. And here I am, and I had the best curried crab in my life. And that was also in Mozambique. Sergio, excuse me, no, what's his name? Leo introduced us to a guy with the name of Sergio, who was an avid spear fisherman. He was a Portuguese guy, spoke pretty good English, but he was an avid spear fisherman. And he invited me and Mace to go with him the following day to Inyaka Island, which is about 23, 25 kilometers across the bay from Mozambique. Place with incredible clear water and lots of fish. Just so it turned out that, well, let me explain it first. With the spear fishing, when you're doing spear fishing, you have to free dive. There's no such thing as using oxygen tanks or anything like that. And besides that, we used just because of the fact that there's so many sharks in that area, in the Indian Ocean. We decided we always had a float and a string behind our spear gun. So this was maybe 50, 60 feet of line, nylon line, to which we had tied a 5-gallon drum, a floating, yeah, 5-gallon plastic drum with a fish stringer on it. So if you shoot fish and they were bleeding, you'd string the fish on the stringer, and at least you'd be pulling them 50, 60 feet behind you. So if there's a shark, the shark will go for the blood and will go for the fish and leave you alone and give you time to get the hell out of the water. And it just so turned out to be that we saw a beautiful grouper fish, and I was after it, and I was after it, and tried to get a position, couldn't get a position, tried again, and after a couple of attempts, I got in a position where I could take a shot at it. And I did. But what I forgot was that my spear gun was not powerful enough for this kind of fish, for this size of fish. And the fish took off. Now, instead of me letting go and let the float do its work with the resistance and wear out the fish, I held on to my spearfish, to my spear gun. And the thing pulled me under the water deeper, faster than I could anticipate, and I completely forgot to equalize, and poops, I perforated my eardrum. And I blacked out for a second or three. And when I got my bearings, I thought I was swimming up the surface. Meantime, I was swimming down to the bottom. Anyhow, I got my bearings, felt where I was, and shot myself up. Swam to the boat, my finger in my ear, and noticed there was blood. So I knew that's a serious problem. I had perforated my eardrum, and as I pulled myself into the boat, I lost my balance, and actually fell back into the water. And I told Sergio what had happened and whatever. So he went after the fish. He could see my float, and he went after it. And he had a much more powerful spear gun than I had. And he saw the grouper. In those days it was still legal to shoot grouper or catch grouper. And he managed to get it. And he had to come along in the boat, and we used to come along to get the fish into the boat. But we had to call it a day and get back to Maputo, Lorenzo Marx. I had to get to a hospital to get emergency treatment for my ear, or at least antibacteria, Bactrim, what do you call it? Antibiotics, that's right. And so we eventually we got to the hospital, but the son of a gun who was the medic on duty was at home. So we waited and waited and waited and waited. They called him, and 2 hours later, the bastard came to the hospital, but he was drunk as a skunk. And now I had to explain to him that I needed what do you call it? Antibiotics for my ear. Eventually, we got the message over to him, and he wouldn't give me antibiotics, but he gave me a prescription. I don't know why he wouldn't give me antibiotics, but long story short, got the prescription out of him, and there Mouse and I were. Now we got to go and look for a emergency pharmacy that's open on a Sunday in Maputo or Lorenzo Marx, of all places. Strange enough, or lucky enough, we were about the third or the fourth pharmacy that we saw was open. We stopped there, and now talking to the pharmacist and explaining to him what we need. At least I had the prescription, and I could show him that the blood was coming out of my ear, or he could see it, or whatever. He came up with some container with Bactrim antibiotics. But when it came time to paying it, we didn't have enough money to pay for it, man. It would have been all our money for our whole vacation. And I said to Mouse, I said to him, man, go and just, I spoke in Afrikaans. I told him, go and get the car, park it here in front of the pharmacy, keep the engine running, and make sure my window and my door is open. And you sit in the driver's seat, engine running. So Mouse knew what was coming. As soon as I saw Mouse was in position, I grabbed the bottle of Bactrim, ran out of the pharmacy, jumped into my car, and Mouse sped off. There we go. There we went. So what did the Mouse do? Is I stole that. I stole that Bactrim. But I thought to myself, okay, being a nice little religious boy, maybe the good Lord will have mercy on me because this son of a bitch pharmacist tried to cheat us, So stealing the bloody Bactrim from him was not such a bad sin after all. And then I said to Mouse, I said, you know what? We don't know if this guy's got our registration number or whatever. You can see that we had a white car. Let's go to Leo's house and park the car there. So we took off and parked the car at Leo's house, explained to Leo what had happened, and he took us back to the caravan park. And just to be safe. And the following morning, then, I forgot to tell you that Sergio, in the meantime, we agreed that he will take the fish that he and I had shot, and he'll take it to the fish market and go and sell it there, and we split the money. Lo and behold, that grouper weighed 102 kilograms. So we got more money for that fish than we had for the whole vacation. But so then it turned out we had to get the hell out of there. Better discretion was a better part of valor, and took the car the following morning, bid Shireen and Sergio and everybody goodbye, and we headed out via Swaziland, which was the closest border point. The closest border point to Lorenzo Marx. And when we were in Swaziland, we decided, we are here. We're rich now. We've got a lot of money. Let's go and spend the night at the casino, which we did. Of course, we lost whatever we decided to gamble with. We lost. But the following morning, when I woke up, I would look at my pillow, and it was not a good sight to see, not to behold. And we had to go back to Pretoria immediately, so that I could have my dad look at this ear. And we did so, and Dad got back home. Dad saw what was going on and did treat my ear with other antibiotics and some injections and what. And okay, so to this day, I know I guess it's just a reminder of me having stolen the bloody antibiotics from the pharmacist. I still can't do any spearfishing or catch any lobster because I can't dive deeper than 8 or 10 feet. Then my ear starts paining. So it's just a reminder of I can't say, yeah, it's just a reminder, you stole the bloody pharmacist's antibiotics, so it's just payback and keeping you in step. So that was it for the Mozambican vacation.